Kinfo. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what it's talking. They say what? We about to break bread right now. What's up with it, Keish? You know what I'm saying? Today is the release for great relief. You know what I'm talking about? It's time to let go. It's time to let go. Sometimes it might be time to let go of that old self. You feel me? But it's time to let go, love. I know for me, I got some people I gotta let go. And for those who might not understand, what we mean by letting go in this situation, we about to have a nice little conversation. I got a few people that I know is gonna come in and add to the conversation. That's just something I've been building on for some time now. But while we waiting on that, just wanted to check in, see how you feeling, Leash. Just wanted to check in, see how you feeling, Lee. Shit. It's time to let go, man. Time to let go. And sometimes that can be so hard to do. Sometimes that can be so hard to do. Appreciate you tapping the screen. Let's get them likes up so they know we out here. I'm about to tap with y'all. But again, be thinking of things that you want to let go. Matter of fact, be thinking of things that you want to hold on to. Forget that. Because a lot of us we're not going to readily be willing to let go. So I ain't going to sit here and play with you like I know it's something that you're going to be ready to let go. But just start thinking of things that you feel like is no longer serving you. That's no longer serving you. I gotta figure out how to change the darn question real quick. So with it, Sierra, Crystal, how you feeling? Come through. How you doing, High Vibes?
What's up?
Appreciate you being here. Time to let go. Let it all hang out. Man, it's been a long time coming, though. Long time coming. So I ain't gonna act like I'm surprised, but Lord have mercy. Let me be merciful. You know what I'm saying, in this moment? Because I also don't want to be egotistical.
Let the spirit flow.
You feel me? But I ain't gonna lie. When the spirit get to flowing, the spirit don't give a shit.
Yeah, because it's
Who it
supposed
hit?
to be hitting people.
You feel me? You see how, look, you said the same, who it hit, it don't give a damn. The time out. Because sitting over here giving a darn is what done got us to this point where it's like, it's time to let it go. But that's also how energy flows too, though.
Yeah.
We breathe in, you know what I mean? That's us attaching ourselves to life. When we breathe out, we letting go. So, that's just me, as well as, all that acknowledge, what we talking about today. We just acknowledging us saying, you know what, I choose to be one with the energies more than I choose to be one with these people that I thought I was supposed to, attach myself to. And don't get me wrong, at certain points I guess I was, because it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's also meant for me to release too. Otherwise it's not healthy for nobody involved. I think I'm gonna break down these two little side locks into multiple or something. I think I probably need to make them four different locks or something.
Oh, that's why I asked you.
I know, Lord. I know, Lord.
Yeah, sure. Let me see.
My focus thing gone too. I just had to basically stop my calls because Darn bill collectors want to call all morning and all
Trying to
night.
get your attention. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm letting them go too. Shit. Ed let it all hang out. Shoot.
All you gotta do is say, as soon as they say your first and last name, I'm like, you gotta say, you know you can get
What's
sued
up,
for
Lock
that, right?
Legacies?
Like, you know you can get sued for that.
Right.
You're not supposed to put people's personal information. I bet you they won't call your ass. But if they do, they call them with a different representative and a different person, and they probably not gonna say your first name first. But you can always ask, who is this? Like, you know, and they be like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to speak to so and so. Got your ass.
Got you. Lock Legacy, what you up to?
Good morning.
Tell me how to pronounce your name again.
Isa.
Cause I keep Isa. Okay, that's what I thought it said. I don't like getting people's name wrong. So
How you doing
sometimes
today?
I just hesitate.
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
If she wasn't, she gonna be alright. Cause we letting go today. Even
Every
if you
day.
ain't feeling alright, we letting it go.
Every day.
Yeah. Every day we need to let it go. Like I was telling her, it's just like how we breathe. You know what I'm saying? We breathe in, we hold that air, and then we let it go. So I'm just choosing to be one with the energy that give me life. I'm gonna start activating that way and being conscious of it. Cause we do it for the most part, but it's just an opportunity to be more conscious of it. Is there anything that you feel like you might need to let go today?
Oh, I let everything go as soon as my eyes opened this morning.
Hey man. Everything.
I don't carry nothing from yesterday, the day before that. It's a new day.
Man, I totally agree. She said let it all go. I can see that. In order to truly have it, we gotta let it go anyway. We gotta let it go. Man. So I guess I'll pop it off. So for me, I got a specific situation that I'm letting go. I've been doing some traveling, right? Ever since I left Ohio. I got on the road with a specific person and a specific goal. Once I got on the road, well, before I got on the road, I told this person, you know, let's be sure that, you know, what we're agreeing to do is what we do, you know, because, you know, some people will make promises to you. Hey, if you come out here, I'm going to make sure this happen and this happen, you know. But we also know people might have the best intentions, but at the same time, life always have its own plan. I felt like the person might have had the best intentions, but once given the opportunity to take advantage of me, the person did just that. And for me, I learned to, for one, let go of fear. Fear that, you know, somebody can take full advantage of me in such a way that I can't recover from. Because everything that I thought could happen did happen. Everything I thought I couldn't control or overcome, I obviously was able to overcome. So, with that being said, I'm letting go of circumstances that I feel like have come into my life to dismantle me in a way that is irreparable. I realized through going through these things that, you know, I'm immortal. There's nothing that can stop me. If anything, even when I dismantle, it's only to be rebuilt even better. So, here recently, even though that first situation didn't go all that well, I found myself back in that situation because of circumstances with my family members back home. And now this time around, this person is saying the same thing. Like, I'm letting you go. What's up with my bro? My star, how you feeling? I'm letting you go. And so at this point, I'm no longer fighting to stay in the situation. Higher Vibes has even, you know, tried to associate the person as my friend because that's how she was kind of introduced to the person. But for me, I had to, you know, intentionally let her know like that ain't my friend. Ain't never really been a friend to me. Actually was an assignment for me. That's how I would look at it. So with that, this assignment, I'm letting it go. I've done my part. It's to the point that I'm starting to try to overplay my part at this point. I feel like, to the point that the person, sometimes when you've been in people's life so long, it's like trying to save a drowning victim. They begin to try to drown you. All the while, you need to pedal too. You know what I'm saying? You might be holding on to my back, but pedal them little feet or something. You know what I'm saying? Help us both get through this mud. So I'm letting go. I I took you as far as I can go. Um, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's one of the it's a hard thing for me because I realize that I also have this complex that I'm also letting go of because it's not necessarily just this person. That's what I'm learning. Like, certain things materialize in our lives for us to see what we need to see. I have a complex of feeling like I need to save people. Granted, a lot of that comes from, old programming I was born into. And I think a lot of us was born into it. But at some point we have to recognize, like, gotta let that go. You weren't sent here to save people. You know what I'm saying? People can learn from your example and in turn save themselves. But for you to hold on to the outcome or have an expectation of what it's gonna look like when people save themselves, that don't do nothing but burden you. So,
I got you. I got you on that.
and that's children, parents, everybody, all the above. So yeah, whew, I feel better after saying that.
Good. Yeah, that's definitely a lot to let go of. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. I was not born into, but programmed into the same kind of mode of needing to save everyone. And I did some real deep inner work some years ago and discovered where that started with for me. Did some real deep inner work. I remembered the conversations. I remembered the circumstances, situations, all these things happening while I was a small child. And I mean before the age of 7. So I'm talking to the choir when I say, everything we're programmed into that seems so permanent happens from 0 to 7 years of age, in our chronological timeline. So, when I did that deep inner work and I started to change my inner world and change my habit of thinking and behaving as if I am here with the intention and purpose of saving people from their own shit. When I shifted out of that and took my focus elsewhere, it got real quiet. It got real quiet. And it wasn't an overnight thing.
Right.
But when I picked up the momentum of really transforming my inner thought processes surrounding the topics of saving other people and recognizing every opportunity that I had to change my mind about saving people, nobody was there. I realized that the people that I had been surrounding myself with and the people that had been latching on to me were people who needed me to save them, or they thought that I
Right.
was there to save them. And so it had been kind of an equal exchange in that they showed up with an intention. I showed up with an intention. And it was reciprocity, not in the good sense.
Right.
It wasn't the good kind of reciprocity. You know, we all showed up for what we, not in the good sense.
Right.
It wasn't the good kind of reciprocity. You know, we all showed up for what we were showing up for.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Right.
was ego based both ways.
Right.
Both ways entirely. So a period of years of some lonely space, you know, when I had to finish dismantling those deep-seated beliefs that I had subconsciously. And it took me a little while to realize that I needed to rebuild myself in the opposite direction, you know, to do something different. And so when I decided that, okay, well, I'm going to surround myself with people who, you know, is on the same path as myself or on a higher level path as myself, and we're just going to be in each other's presence for the sake of just being and for the sake of you know, for elevating and stuff.
Right.
Then that became easy. That became real easy. And it's a real good space now. It's a real good space, and I have absolutely no issue with, and it's easy for me to see it coming when someone's coming at me with the intention of being saved. I could see it coming in the first 3 words that slide out their mouth. And I'll be like, nope, this is what you gonna do. You gonna go find you a mentorship. You gonna pay me for mentorship, or you gonna go find you a therapist. But what you're not finna do is occupy my emotional space and take me places with you that I didn't ask to go.
Right. Right. I totally understand that. Gotta know how to prioritize or put things, succubus energy or people that's
Yes.
latching on to you, you know. What you was finna say, high vibes?
I loved everything she said. Standpoint I can understand because she has set energetic boundaries as far as you can't even get close to my energetic field. So it's like I get that because like you said, succubus energy, and like you got to learn how to protect yourself on an energetic level. So when like you sending out energy and it comes like, because technically we all send out things like as an energetic invitation, stuff that we got to heal from, and then it challenges you to see where you are if you're saying what you're saying and actually doing what you're saying to align your words with your actions. So I feel like that was just beautiful what you said, and I know you probably went through a lot of things to get where you are, and I just love it because setting energetic boundaries, people don't understand that in certain terms, but it's a really hard thing to do. Like you have to really like tooth and nail like to set certain boundaries like that.
Yeah, those the boundaries. That's an important piece. But even more so, because I think I'd say probably since 2020 and everything that's been transpiring since, we ain't even got to name the events. I think we've had such a pivot toward focusing on boundaries that, you know, and it was really strong, and it still carries a real strong frequency. I think it's really important at this point in time to shift and take a new pivot and look more toward rebuilding our communities and rebuilding, starting in the home base, of course, but, rebuilding our intention of who we surround ourselves with, and get very, very resolute about pulling people into our folds, because there's a lot of divisive mechanisms at play right now, and there has been, but even more now than ever. The divide and conquer strategies are really, really tearing people apart, and we have to get really intentional about not allowing our communities to be ripped apart by these energies that are using our governmental systems and influencers to dismantle our efforts of staying together. And that doesn't mean remove our boundaries. It means reassess our boundaries and decide where those boundaries need to be, where the boundaries are going to really keep us safe, and also decide where them boundaries, recognize where them boundaries are actually doing harm. Because sometimes what we think of as boundaries is actually isolation and division, and that's dangerous.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Got to be able to assess the situation. That's the importance of the balance that you're speaking of. So yeah, I can definitely agree and see where we need to reassess those things, given the recent circumstances that we went through that kind of forced us to separate. Yeah, buddy. Feeling like a big dog.
I was gonna see if my star is saying something.
My star.
Peace, 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 peace. Top of the
Peace,
sun.
kid.
Good.
Peace. Appreciate you coming through. You got anything you need to release for relief?
Ah, man. I definitely woke up with a mind full this rising, man.
Okay.
Releasing boundaries. Man, this past year, actually these past couple of years, but these past 2-3 months, man, has been extremely interesting, man. A lot of revelations been coming to the forefront. A lot of hard truths I've been having to face and accept. It's been helping me along the journey, but sometimes, man, you'll get caught up in that thought process of still wanting to be a genuine, kind person, and want to still kind of be around certain people and be around people and give people chances and tries, and man, that stuff will distract you from your purpose.
Hold on real quick. My bro, he new on TikTok. Hey bro, let me Mr. I ain't no more. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mute me or whatever I need to do.
Oh, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's my hold on, bro. We gotta talk. Alright, go back. I muted you, but I think you're gonna have to click on your thing. Click on your avatar. Keep on coming back. Open.
That work.
Like it's clear now. As long as your background don't keep getting loud, I can hear him. But it's good to see you, big bro. I'm gonna let my star finish up, and then I'm gonna definitely porter you in.
Gotcha.
Love you, bro. Um, Go ahead, my star.
Yeah, I'm at that point, man, to where I'm just letting things be what it is and focusing more on evolving.
Right.
I recently I'm still dealing with I don't want to call it a loss, but in the physical realm, that's what it is. Um, a lot of things is still registering, like growing up alone, being alone, even while being around people, man. It's causing me to look at things, and sometimes I may look too deep into things, but I'm a deep person, you know. I'm realizing that the best way to save myself is to relocate my energy, relocate my time, relocate my presence with people, and relocate myself just so I can become who I've always been. This stuff ain't come with no manual book or nothing like that, man. But sometimes you could become overwhelmed, and when you ain't got no one to open up to, man, to kind of get that to keep your foundation, solidified so you won't drown in your own world. That shit, it'll take a toll on you, man. But only if you let it, only if you let it. And I was finding myself starting to sink in my own world due to being left alone in the world, to fend for myself, to fend for my son, but I realized that choosing life in the process is what keeps your foundation stabilized. Yeah, man. I got a mind full, man. I really, I got a mind full.
Take your time. We unpacking it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel the need to, jump back in after, we let the next person go, shoot. Feel free, cause it's a build. You know what I'm saying? We just building on it. But I definitely appreciate you, man, accessing that place within yourself in order to, allow for that to come out. Cause you said some things that I need to consider as well as basically give myself some credence or be grateful for the steps that I had to take in order to release myself from certain situations or places. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate you adding that to the conversation and your patience to allow for others to speak. You know what I mean? I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Ain't No More.
What's up, brother? I hope my background ain't too loud. I'm driving.
Oh no, you good. You remember the brother I told you I'm gonna introduce you to that do
Yes,
the
sir.
music?
To do the music.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is one of them, my star. My star, if you could follow my brother, as well as the other brother I was telling you about was my little homie who I just ran back into from Memphis.
Yeah.
He I don't know if when you heard the songs that I sent you, that's one of his things, Mr. Ain't No More. So y'all definitely in alignment. I can't wait to make that happen though. But the question that we got going around is, and you can go into detail as much as you would like or not as much as you would like. We're just talking about what are you releasing in order to give yourself relief. You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything that was put on your mind this morning that you feel like you need to release, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to share, as well as, because like I said with him, certain things that he said, and as well as the sisters up here said, is things for me to consider too, in order to lighten my load. So
Absolutely. First, man, excuse me for abruptly entering in the meeting and everything like that, but
glad to have you. You
yes, sir,
good?
appreciate you. And everything this brother said was relatable. It was hitting me like it was coming out of my own mind. So I'm there with you. And sometimes I think it can be sort of a universal energy that's, we get hit by the same waves, man. And I think it's hard. I can't take nothing away from it, but it's exactly the same thing, man. Like for me, I had to choose wisely certain people that I was around and I allowed to be in my space. So I had to kind of be careful with who had access to me in order to control some of the things that was going on. That I could, that I, certain things come from left field, but you can minimize the risk of that by shrinking your circle. So for me, I've been paying attention to everything, and I think one thing that I really have to do sometimes is move myself out of the way, be a lot less likely to speak and say things and stuff like that. So that's kind of what been hitting me lately. I just been wanting to be quiet more and just kind of stay out of the way. And then I think the second thing, hopefully I'm answering the right question, but the second thing for me, man, I just realized kind of recently, like I always moved in a certain way that I felt was my responsibility or my obligation to the people that was around me. And I guess after you get worn out and you go through those places of just wanting to ball up, and then you if you pay attention, you start to see how things change when you pull back. And some of those things you may benefit from, and some of those things you may not realize you're losing at the same time. So if it makes sense, like I'm trying to build myself up to be more lovable, because or we could say respectable, because most people today, I feel like everybody just saying you gonna love me, you gonna respect me, and nobody put the time into building themselves up into being lovable and respectable. So nurturing relationships that you really do need and that you want to see blossom, and then starving the ones that you know are detrimental to you. I think that's pretty much all I would add to it.
Man, I want to say, as you was wrapping up, bro. Like, I really appreciate y'all opening up, because for me this morning, I was feeling like, I got to release in order to give myself a relief. But I also was feeling like, you got this savior complex sometimes that you don't want to let people down. So to hear that it's in tune with how everybody is on this panel has been feeling waking up this morning, it's like, bro, hell yeah, I ain't tripping. So I appreciate y'all being transparent, you know what I mean, enough to, say that, look, that's been on my mind too. And I know from talking to you, off these type of panels, the conversations that we done had recently, like, it really caused for me to see certain things, like, because you was definitely one of the people in my life that I kind of, like, I tell people I kind of leaned on, you know what I mean? And it get to a point, even with having people to lean on, you can lean on people too much. And so when it got to the point that, that separation happened, it really made me stronger, to the point I know that if I release some of these other people, as well as some of these other problems that I'm having within myself, that it's gonna give me a state of relief as well as by strengthening me. You know what I mean? So it's not like, we having this conversation from a standpoint of, man, I can't stand such and such, man. They've been leeching off me for so long. Now we having this conversation from a standpoint of, in order to actually access the relationships in the way that we know we should, or to elevate the relationships, we got to let go. We got to move in the way that energy actually operates, because energy, when we breathe in, we attach ourselves to life. When we breathe out, we releasing it somewhat, but that's the flow of energy, the rhythm. So, I feel like with us having this conversation, we basically being in agreement with the energy that allows for us to even exist, as well as the energy that we truly are. Because even when we breathing out and stuff, like, we operate outside the body sometimes. Like I tell people, it's like operating or moving without the ball in basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I think, you can be an enabler to other people too, so it ain't just about
Mm-hmm.
my own peace. Like I have a relative, I just say my uncle, one of my uncles, man, and this is my guy. We've been locked in for a long time, obviously, but like I had to release for my own sake, and I felt like I was keeping him too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? By giving him access, so it was like the release happened, and it was rough. Like as far as we said some bad things to each other, but the turnout was he got up and did some things that he needed to do, and where we could come back and our energies was in sync again. So sometimes you gotta step away from both parties, it's diametric opposites or whatever you want to call it. But sometimes I think it's necessary, and what's meant don't come back together.
Exactly. All for the good, man. All for the good. Now that everybody done, released and released. What's a situation that you have released, like whether a child, or understanding that you had, that you look back now and you like, man, I can't believe I was, that strong, or I can't believe that, I was able to survive, because, that was something that I thought if I released, I wasn't going to be able to hang in there, or that person wasn't going to be able to survive. And just to pop it off to try to give some kind of context to it, for me, it was my children, growing up, given the circumstances that I was born into and how it played out. I was born into a family that I felt like was great. You know what I'm saying? So amazing, to the point that when it dismantled, I just didn't understand life no more for a while. And to grow up, in the aftermath of it, I promised myself certain things that I realized I couldn't, I couldn't promise myself. And so I had to release the ideals of things that, I realized later on that was outside of my control, let alone the start of it was outside of my control. But through releasing those ideals, or the identity concepts that I had of what shaped me, I regained another part of me. So, when I released it, I thought I was going to lose myself. When I released certain things with my own children, and the control that I didn't have over certain things, and even I released the hang-ups on things that I could have controlled, but at the time I just didn't want to go that route. There's certain things, like as fathers or even mothers who have, estranged situations, there are certain systems put in place that they say we have access to. But through me sticking to a code that I felt like is necessary, even when other people may go against that code, like, I'm gonna be transparent and say, like, it was times that I could have put myself on child support or fought for certain custodies, but I had made certain agreements with myself, as well as I was raised certain ways. Like, even in church, my grandmama used to always talk about this scripture where, you know, you don't bring your brother or sister before the court to be judged. And then with my kinfolk that was in the street, you know, the laws is don't snitch, you know what I'm saying? Or don't put them people in our business. So it became a point where even them codes got used against me by people that I thought lived by them same codes. But even with that, I still had to stick to my script in order to be able to look at myself in the mirror. But at times it felt like it cost me. Like it felt like, you know, my children, you know, might have suffered in some ways, you know, on the carnal aspect of thinking like, dang, you know, I feel like my kids be better. You know, everybody feel like their kids would be better off with them. You know what I mean? No matter if you the mother or father, if you know what I'm saying, if you be honest with yourself at times, all right, Granny, it's 10:01. You would feel like your kids would be better off with you. But I also had to release those ideals within myself that, you know, my kids ain't gonna get taken care of unless I'm there. And through doing that, bro, I look back and sisters, I look back and I see the relief that I get every time when I talk to my children. I see the growth, you know what I mean? As well as I'm able to look back on my own situation and say, dang, I grew a lot from my father so-called not being in the household every day. You know, our relationship grew by way of me recognizing even though he's not in the house every day, the love was still the same whenever we seen each other. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that one open for anybody else who would like to add to that.
I'll speak on it. So my biggest thing is like understanding that people are not me. So even though I have like flaws and stuff like that and things go on, I have to remind myself that I have to release control over, I would say, 90% of things, because the way that people move and operate is not the same way that you're going to move and operate. So with that understanding and then understanding people, I have to learn that certain things in life are going to teach you certain things. And so with my son, I had to release that motherhood mentality and allow him to like be him and learn lessons. Like a lot of my family don't agree how I raised my son. And that's why, you know, I've been given the type of mindset that I've been given. So I teach my son what it is that I teach him. Then I allow life to show him what I'm trying to teach him. So that way he can learn his lessons by life. And it allows me to release control because I know like he has protection and he's safe. But then again, I'm not gonna say that I don't worry sometimes, but it's like even with him and his dad, that aspect I had to release control with that as well, because I'm learning that even though me and his dad don't have the same like mind frame, the same teaching, and just like because he's like old school, I had to learn that because of the way that I grew up, in order for Leek to gain certain insight on some things, he gonna have to go over there and learn some stuff, learn his lessons, just like how I learned my lessons when I was growing up. So I had to release control with things that I couldn't see, but I have faith in him to grow up into the proper man that he needs to be. You know, I instilled some values in him, some core values, some core beliefs, and I was let known by my spirit that he gonna be okay. You know, no matter what people say or no matter what somebody try to drill into his head, that the way that he is, because sometimes he'll go around things in his own way and try to slither around certain things, and then he'll try to, because kids, I tell him all the time, kids are master manifestors. They know how to manipulate energy to create things to make them have a certain outcome, and that's what my son do all the time. So I'm like, at that point, I'm not really worried about anything because he kind of know how to maneuver already as a child. He just got to learn that that's how he move. And when he move like that, he can manifest anything on this earth. So I also just explained to him, like, you're going to be the one who teaches your dad how to love you better and how to be there for you, no matter how much he get frustrated or how much he is. It took the same path with me, because I wasn't the best mother when I first started out, but I noticed that as my son grew on me and our bond grew stronger, he made me into a better mother. And then I had to release the identity of being in motherhood and being a mother and just having these set of rules and kind of just let life guide him and know that he's protected. Send prayers and let his spirit guides watch over him, his angels, his ancestors, just let them guide him, because technically I already knew at some point I was going to have to release him, or he was going to have to live with his father or some, at some point. But just releasing control in that way and allowing him to live his life, because I see a lot of mothers how they hold on to their kids and it's like they feel like they can't breathe, i.e. I was one of the kids that felt like I couldn't breathe because, my parent holding on to me because I'm all she got. But then you realize through those lessons in which you had to learn is you can't be hindering your kids. So that's all I have to say for that.
I appreciate you adding that. Isa, you available?
Yes, I sure am. Yes. So, yeah, I definitely align with you, sis. Higher vibes when it comes to us raising our sons. Now, all of my children are adults at this point. My son, he's 27. And when he was 19, he was going through a dark night of the soul kind of experience. And I just, I wanted to baby him. I wanted to coddle him. And I was waking up one morning and I heard the Most High say, "Get out of your son's way." And it was so stern. It was so firm. And I was just like, but it's my baby. I want to put Band-Aids all over him. That's my man. What do you mean? Get out of my son's way. he needs me right now. I was like, well, I knew what it meant, but of course, the mommy in me wanted to just kind of stay online and stay in his face. And so I had to step back and really trust my son's process and trust the Most High to keep him covered. And even now, as he starts to enter his Saturn return, oh my goodness, this is a whole nother experience for both of us. And it came up for me again as he's entering his Saturn return, because he called me up maybe a month and a half ago, going through crisis with his father. He called me. He said, "Mom, please let me move back home." I'm like, no.
Isa, real
Yeah.
quick. Can you break down and unpack what you mean by Saturn return?
Oh, Saturn return. Okay. So for some folks who might not be familiar with what the Saturn return is, every 27 to 30 years, our cosmic cycles kind of cycle back around to solidify our lessons, our karma, if you will, and make us have a real thorough review of everything that has collected from the time we were conceived into this timeline all the way up to that 27th to 30th year. And then that energy carries through and usually gels, if you will. It solidifies around the age of 33. Okay, so you've heard of people going through their midlife crisis, right? That's a Saturn return.
Yes.
Anytime there's a midlife crisis situation, if it truly is something that's a critical crisis, there are some hard lessons that either you're going to have the humility to go ahead and walk through those lessons, see them for what they are, and learn from them, or you're going to reject those lessons. You're going to go crying, kicking, and screaming about it, and then you're going to replay and relearn all of that all over again for the next 27 to 33 years. You hit another Saturn return round about the age of, 47 to 55, depending on how you align with the planets, how your chart is set up and everything. But yeah, it's cyclic, like everything else is cyclic in the universe. It's a cycle. So my son is coming into that first cycle, and he's having some meltdowns, talking about, I need to move back home. Like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. Because what you're not gonna be is that man who's 40 years old sitting in my basement playing video games. And even as sternly and firmly as I say that, and even as hard as I mean that, all 10 toes, there's still that mommy in me in the background saying, oh, he could just let him stay for a month. And, the wisdom in me is like, nope, because that's where it starts. That's where it starts. His manhood is coming to, I guess, kind of a peak right now, and I don't want to interrupt that. And I think that a lot of women, a lot of mothers can easily slip into making the mistake of interrupting the process and development of their son's manhood coming into being. And I ain't about to be that mother. I haven't been that mother. It's been very difficult for me to disallow myself from being that mother, because there's being a mother and there's being a mommy. And there is definitely a certain point where being a mommy has to get wrapped up. We gotta cease that and stand as mother. And he's got his lessons to walk through, and I certainly have mine to walk through. But all in all, I want to see him come into the fullness and the pride of what his manhood is supposed to be for him. So yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
Appreciate that. But that was deep right there. I ain't gonna lie. My mama had to do that for me. And then had to turn around and do it again. So yeah, that and I appreciate you breaking down that Saturn thing, because a lot of us go through that, men and women, to the point that some things that we do, like we try to revert back to safer places, like they kind of stifle our growth. And kind of what I was saying about me and my brother up here, I had to realize, like, that relationship will come back when it's time. but I couldn't just run back to it without going through the growth process. Otherwise, um, even though he ain't my mama, it still would have been a situation of, me not allowing myself to grow through the period that I was going through and being able to just, latch back or lean on my brother. Um, what's up with it, my star? He might be
Yeah.
my,
Yes,
my
sir. Um, what was the
man. Look, don't do that, cause hold on, now I gotta.
Yeah, I told you I got a mind full, man. My brain all over the place over here on mute. I'm here, but
Hold on, now I gotta remember where I was at with it, cause when she put on Saturn the return, I had to hold on. I was really there. You
yeah,
remember the
yeah.
question, big bruh? I seen you came off mute, Mr. Ain't No More. You remember the question? Anybody on the panel remember the question?
I think it was basically what we was it was
What we was
I
able to
know it's
release?
about release, but it was like about what we was releasing. But
Oh
it was
yeah.
like in a certain aspect, like you asked it like differently.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah,
What
I
was we
got it.
able to release
I
that
share
we were
higher vibes.
surprised that we made it through? And
Yeah,
we
I
did.
got it. I got it. Man, I had to release family. I had to release my mother. I had to release everybody that I thought loved me organically.
Mm.
Um, it left me alone, but while I was alone, I was finding myself. So I didn't allow what I experienced to define me as an individual. I chose to define myself in the process of losing people because it was like even though I let go, I had to I had to accept everything that came with letting go. Um, it's interesting, man. I was on my other phone and I was I was writing a little post for my story or whatnot, and I said I've lost so much in life that I had no choice but to find myself in the process.
Well, yeah, buddy.
And man, being a father, man, and then being a man and having to work on yourself and heal your own traumas and address your own issues
Mhm.
without no one even knowing how to even come through for you. Like some people don't even know how to come through for you because your shit be so deep that they not even used to dealing with anything that's beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, man, this shit get lonely, man. Sometimes I get discouraged. Sometimes I get in my mind. I be ready to give up. I be ready to, and like you said, God, man, going through that process, man, and having a child, my experience, man, my son don't have a mother anymore. I recently lost my mother. I cut my family off due to their toxic functioning ways. So it's like trying to stay above in a world where you have no one, but you have, you know what I mean? Like you come across people that got you for the most part, but it's like it don't be solidified until it feels solidified.
Oh gosh.
So it'd be like everybody saying, "Oh, you got me. Oh, you can call. Oh, you can. You can." And then when I utilize that, you can.
Oh, you get.
Oh, you could. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Oh shit! You be scared to let go and everything. You like,
You know what I'm
oh
saying? So it just be like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just open up both my hands, man, and just let the rope do its thing. because I realized that holding on will harm you more than it'll help bring shit together. It may bring shit back close to you, but it's shit. It ain't genuine. It ain't organic. It ain't from the heart, you know? So, man, releasing, man, saved my life, man. You know, it saved my life, man. And I realized that once you release and you let go, you got to relocate. Like I said, you know, like you got to get the fuck on, man. Because greatness is waiting on you. And if you got any type of responsibility outside of yourself, you got to make sure that this is what I'm learning for myself. I got to make sure that I reestablish my foundation in a new environment for better opportunities, even for me becoming from master to star, you know, conquering many levels of myself, man, and accepting many aspects of myself as it is, flaws and all. Once you become the truest version of yourself, you will attract everyone. You'll attract all the energy that complements you. You're still gonna come across energy vampires. They exist. You know, this is an ignorant world we live in. But you know, slowly but surely, everything is coming back to balance. You know, like the righteousness is starting to rise. The ignorance are starting to become a lot more shaken up because they got to go through the evolution phase themselves, and folks be fighting. They be battling because of that image that that folks be wanting to uphold, and they be blocking their heart from evolving. You know, man. I realize that this should be temporary, man, and the only thing that's permanent is you evolving. And it's all about perspective. So how you view yourself and how you view life is how life gonna manifest for you. Because right now, even though I'm going through these little modes and phases and stuff like that, it is helping me a lot along this journey of evolving. Like you said too, God mind, man, like with that parenting thing, man, with having like trying to be there for your child as your child become a young adult, as they get older and they age, man. Your child to be as wise as you become as an adult. So how you are towards your child is how your child gonna be in the world when he or she is outside entertaining the world.
Big facts.
Man, I I love my mind, man, and me losing my mother, man. I gained that power in my heart. I gained her spiritually, and it gave so much power to my heart that even when I feel like giving up, I just sit with it. And I just kind of reflect on everybody I've came across and be like, man, you know what? Even though you may feel like you don't have nobody, getting on this type of panel right here, man, with y'all type of beings, it just solidified the thought of, nah, there's a lot more like you. And the only way you'll connect with them is if you become a lot more universal. So, man, by me choosing life, man, I started to come across beings who value life, regardless of what they got going on in their own life. The way a person value their life is how they value you, because you're life. So, yeah, letting go, man, helps. It really saved my life, man. Letting people be who they are, not trying to control, dictate, none of that. Just allowing folks to be who they are and accepting them as they present themselves. And if they are in alignment with you, then you vibe with them and build with them. But if they are not, learn from that experience and keep evolving. Yep. I'll say that.
Catch and release. Catch on to what's going on and release them.
Yes,
Shit.
sir.
Man, I sure appreciate you sharing that. As the good African folks would say, I shaded that. Big bro, where you up to? I don't know if you done got busy yet.
I'm not sure if y'all be able to hear me. I had to switch my speakers stuff up.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Man, y'all are everything y'all saying, man. I appreciate. I really appreciate it. Like it's just saying, man. This is my first time really being involved in anything like this, or in a while, I'll say. But it just when it wasn't on this vulnerable level, man. So I appreciate everybody vulnerableness and openness, man. That's real, and allowed me to access that in my mind, and so to answer the question for me, I'll say pretty much the same thing, man. It's kind of like you grow up with your idea of what should be, what has been, and kind of have instincts based on, this is my family, this is, then as everybody gets older, we all grow in different directions, and sometimes the relationships you expect to pan out, or you just never even consider anything but good could come from. Sometimes it doesn't play out like that, and everybody don't have the same energy towards same things. So that's something I had to let go specifically. I think I keep saying that, but it was like brother said, my expectations of other people to move. I think the sister said this, move in a way that I expect them to move, or just because I move like this, or I have this type of integrity, or you begin to just kind of assume that you're going to get what you give, and that just doesn't normally play out in that way. And somebody loses every time. So that was the thing for me, having to let go of those type of expectations, or not place those expectations on others, and trust people to be who they show you they are, and give them time and grace to become who they're going to be. Because when I looked and saw friends that I had grown up with as like a young child, and you may get a decade or something like that in between that, and then you link back up with them and you see where you gone and where that person is gone, and you kind of like, what happened? What's the difference? And to me, what I've seen is the company. A lot of times, the company that people kept, and you just got to be particular about that. And sometimes you have to build your own village and find the people. I think I'm reiterating things that everybody's already said, but finding those people. So for me, my son is in karate. My son and daughter, they take karate, and we've been in it about 9 years now. And it's kind of become inadvertently my village, and those people there, we all on the same page with a lot of things. And once you can have a common goal, everything else kind of follows suit. So our common goal just happened to be grooming these kids to be karate champions, and we all look after each other's kids, and they become family. And it's allowed me to see that you don't necessarily have to expect these things from your blood family, your people that you grew up with and came into the world with. Sometimes it's maybe meant for us to reach out and grow in different directions, and you can't really become your full self if you keep yourself in a box that you came in. You know what I mean? So that's what I say.
Hell yeah. I add this to what you talking about as far as the karate champions. I know a lot of people, they hear that and it gets simplified, right? But what I hear and just from growing up with my little brother and seeing him go through the different things with karate, um, it builds a certain level of character. I know for me, I was always told not to fight. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things in life that I avoided. You know, as time went on, like I avoided confronting certain situations. You know what I'm saying? But when you grow up in an environment where you're not avoiding the fight, you learn to, you know what I'm saying, stand up for yourself in all manners, not just, you know, physically. Um, you don't avoid the fight within yourself, you know. So man, I definitely applaud anybody who gets their child involved in those type of activities. Like to me, that's the importance. Like it teaches them that it's not a bad thing to fight, but there's a way to fight that's productive, as well as it gives you a certain level of confidence. Most people that do know how to fight are reluctant to just be out here bullying people or just, you know what I'm saying, starting stuff because they scared. A lot of times, the majority of the people that you see out here bullying or starting stuff, it's because they scared themselves and don't have confidence in their abilities because they don't have opportunities
Yep,
to express that or, you know, work through it.
yep. Why you get all the instigators and the kids,
Mm-hmm.
even the class clowns. That's their defense mechanism.
Yeah, yeah. But through going through those type of environments, you get to learn, you know, the time and the place, the ways to carry yourself. So man, I definitely appreciate you sharing that. That's something that I think I'm definitely gonna try to implement with my daughters in this next phase of getting them involved in activities. I also wanted to say appreciate my star for your input on just the family setting not looking like we thought it would, but realizing we can still push through it. You know what I'm saying? To create a family setting that's gonna be conducive to us going forward. You know, some things have to die with other generations or my bad, y'all, that was my alarm. Some things have to take on new life as we go throughout the generations. So I applaud y'all for not taking it as hard and holding grudges on our family members for the changes that they propelled us to. And Isa, I appreciate you for sharing with us the aspect that a mother goes through, which was kind of healing for me to hear it from you and Higher Vibes about, you know, how the mother really, she want to intercede, but, you know, at certain points she recognized that that's going to stifle the growth of the man, as well as knowing that having that high insight to recognize that you're in a safe environment for you to go through that growth. Appreciate you trusting your son as well as, you know, maybe his father to allow for him to cultivate that energy because it's very important. Just like I was saying with that fighting, you know, that's part of the fight as a man, you know, being able to have those opportunities while you're young to experience your abilities. Because if you don't, by the time you grown, you gonna pay the consequences for what you don't know or what you're not sure of about yourself. But if anybody would like to add anything as we get ready to wrap this thing up, cause we coming up on the hour. I try to do, you know, an hour each day. Just like this is like to me a verbal journal. And usually I do the majority of the talking. But today it was just put on my heart to just like, let me open up the panel to everybody else because for one, my feelings of releasing and relief today, I was kind of, how do I put it? I was kind of feeling guilty. I was kind of feeling like, you know, I'm releasing certain things or certain people, and I felt like I might be wrong about this because, you know, like I said, I have a certain complex that I'm working out of, and I also it's part of my ego as well. Even though I feel like I have a savior complex, I feel like we also got to recognize that can be part of ego. Even in the sense of, even as just simple as you not wanting to let go of certain thought processes that no longer serve you, or certain thought processes that you gotta say, look, I mastered that, and now it's time for me to find balance in letting go and letting other people master themselves. So if anybody got anything they would like to add in closing, as well as, if y'all are available going forward, I would like to, like, at least maybe, what's today? Wednesday? Oh yeah, hump day. I would like to do this like at least every Wednesday. And if y'all available, I definitely wouldn't mind, opening up the panel or the platform for that. Starting with you guys, because I feel like, with other people I can't really gauge. I mean, I'm pretty sure eventually, like my star was saying, and I know it's master, but I like my star because it's like mama star. But I feel like what he was saying as far as knowing like how certain things is gonna get put out here, I want to be able to kind of have an understanding with certain people that I know, like, okay, if I relinquish the platform to this person, I know, you know what I'm saying, we kind of along the same range of thinking, and I feel like y'all are the people that I attracted today by allowing for my light to, spread a little bit, or for my light to dim some so other lights can, be lit. But yeah, if y'all got anything y'all want to say, or let me know of your availability, I'm open to it.
I'm typically at work. I got two businesses, and so I'm typically at
Yeah, I
work
was
at
surprised you
around
hit
this
the
time.
link. Yeah,
I stayed my butt home today because I needed to pay attention to some things in my home life and
okay.
get some things together here. So I took the day off, but I'm typically over there at work and handling business and stuff like that. So if I am available on any given Wednesday, I will definitely jump on here and look for you. I literally got on here and looked for you in the live list today. I was like,
Wow.
I ain't seen my boy in a long time. Hold on, because I know last time we were really trying to connect was before the TT ban was supposed to be happening. We was trying to connect on other platforms, including just by phone.
Right.
And I was like, oh no. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off and it fell off on everybody. Hold on. Let me come back up to the surface here.
I got you. Yeah,
Yeah, but if I'm available, I'll definitely come over here and look for you intentionally again.
I sure appreciate it. I think Higher Vibes is a little tied up right now. My star.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate that acknowledgement, man. I appreciate this opportunity for me to release some of this debris off my heart as I evolve, you know. I appreciate this opportunity, man. And yeah, I'll definitely come back. I enjoy substantial, conversations, man. Like I like this be my type of thing right here. Like I may entertain some surface shit, but that's just to keep me, entertained. But
Right. We all do. We all do.
yeah, this right here is a compliment, God.
Likewise, y'all being up here is a compliment. But yeah, I definitely would love for you to participate each Wednesday as well. What's up with it, Buck? Mr. Ain't No Mo.
Out here in the heat.
You back at it.
Yeah, out here staining patios. I missed a little bit of what we were just talking about. A customer came out and was talking with me.
Oh no, you good. I was just saying I would like for y'all to participate with me on Wednesdays. Like instead of me doing my normal encouragement hours where it's just me talking and doing my downloads, I would love for y'all who I feel like with me putting my light out here was attracted, and I can tell we in alignment because everybody for the most part woke up with this on their mind, or been feeling this for this week or a month or so. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I definitely would love for you to participate with me each Wednesday
Yes, sir.
to get the day started.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you inviting me, man. You invited me a couple of times, and I'm glad you sent me that link this morning.
For sure, for sure. I look forward to it though, bro. Also, do you know how to follow people on here yet?
Yeah, I can figure that out, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. My start. If you could send my brother, or your brother too,
Yeah,
follow.
I
Okay.
already passed him up. All he got to do is just click back.
Okay, okay. And if you could send him like a message when you get out here, cause he new to it, so
I
I'm
show
pretty
you.
sure he can
Okay.
see the message, and then from there he can click back.
Yeah.
But both of y'all is very musically inclined, and sometimes we be getting this writer's block as well as what I mean, that blockage. Sometimes I feel like when I run across people with that spirit, that agreeable spirit, you feel me? I like to put them together. Because we got a lot of big eyes and little U type people out here. When I see that agreeable spirit, I prefer to put those two together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess I'll try to send you a message or something, fam, and we can link on other platforms as well, and I'll send you email or something like that, and I guess we'll chop it up and see where it go.
So,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. For sure.
hey, where you from? My star again though. Not even on no street
Oh,
shit,
no,
but
you
just trying to
good. You
figure out the
good. You good.
connections.
Um, I'm in Northwest Indiana, but I'll be
Okay.
relocating to Georgia
Yeah,
in August.
Are you
good.
moving to Georgia?
Yeah.
Sure. You moving to the major city or you going to the outskirts?
Uh, probably. When I get there, I'm gonna be in a major city just so I can get all my legal stuff together and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there find out where I want to go.
Okay. Okay. So you'll be moving closer to us at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, we home base Tennessee for us, so
yes, sir.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I'm always open for a road trip. That don't.
yeah. Right, right.
Hey,
Shoot, you
let
said
me ask you a question, bro. What's your main DAW? What platform you like to use? Like, you deal with Logic, FL. You,
Man, it's been a while, man, since I actually. I normally just utilize the craft to keep my mind activated, but I haven't.
artist. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually been into a trustworthy,
Gotcha. Well, yeah, we can link then, man. I'll send you some tracks or something, and then we can see how that go.
Yes, yes, and vice versa, man. I got a few things yeah, hell, we'll get together, Supreme. Don't even worry about it.
Yes, sir.
Much respect, much respect.
Respect.
for sure, man. Love y'all, family. I'm gonna wrap it up. Hit y'all with the outro. So it's Kinfo. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they talking about. Pull up a chair. Come over here to the round table where we break it all down. Say what? We just broke bread right now. Peace within, so it's peace we giving out. And I know you about to have a lovely day. Cause look how we started it out. See y'all in a minute, family. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.